You probably know who Thor is, right? Most people do, whether it's because they're huge Nordic fans of mythology or huge fans of Nordic mythology. There we go. They could be Nordic fans too. I'm fine with that. Or they're just big fans of comics, games, or the MCU, of course. The Marvel character is probably the most popular version of the character, and did you know that he's also already in D&D as a god? The Northlands book from Kobold Press actually introduced him as a character to be blessed by, but I think canonically the Norse gods are also part of D&D in one of the planes, in one of the editions, he says. If you've ever wanted to play as Thor, you can do so thanks to one of the new subclasses in the Steinhardt's Guide to the Eldritch Hunt. So I thought it would be fun today to go through that whole thing and show you what you would be working with. Hello one and all, my name is Jason and this is my channel Dungeon Himbo, where I talk about third-party stuff, reviews, builds, and other such nonsense, sometimes doing D&D advice and all kinds of things. It's wild out here, truly. Today though, we are just focusing on Thor. So who is Thor? Thor is a god from Asgard, the son of Odin, hence the name Thor Odinson, and a mighty king alongside being an incredible part of the Avengers as well, and a warrior in his own right. He's had some of the coolest character growth in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, at least in my opinion, learning that as strong as he is, he still has his weaknesses and his arrogance does have consequences. He mostly uses a hammer to fight alongside lots of lightning and thunder, so let's see how we make that all work in D&D. For our background, we are going for the preordained hero from the Northlands books because it allows us to choose the Blessing of Thor. I don't think this is mechanically the best choice. I do think it's the most fitting, obviously, thematically. It gives us a bonus to our strength checks, and equal to our proficiency bonus times per long rest, and it also gives us both either the Shocking Grasp or Thunderclap cantrip, as well as a Thunderous Smite, which is a nice thing to have, which you can cast without a spell slot. This doesn't work with Rage, because we still can't cast spells, but it is nice to have that if you're ever in a pinch and don't want to rage. This background also gives us the ability to add points to Charisma, Intelligence, or Strength. I would say customize this. You want a point in Con and 2 points in Strength. If you can't do this one, going for something like the Soldier background is probably better. That gives you the Savage Attacker feat, which is fine, but it does also give you the stats that you want. We will be starting with 17 Strength, 14 Dex, 16 Constitution, 8 Intelligence, 8 Wisdom, and 10 Charisma. I do feel like Thor has some Charisma. Very hard to represent Marvel characters in D&D stats using point buy, but I can't tell you to just roll 18s across the board. I mean, I can, I can't guarantee that's going to work for you. For the species, I think Aasimar is the best fit. For starters, the whole thing of the Aasimar is that it's part god, basically, which is perfect for what we're going for. And it also gives us a bunch of really cool features. We not only get resistance to both necrotic and radiant damage, which is a nice little bonus. We also get Dark Vision, which is obviously helpful. Healing Hand, which allows us to heal once per long rest, or heal someone else. You can flavour this as being a jolt of lightning, I think. The Light Bearer ability, which gives you the Light cantrip. And Celestial Revelation at level 3, which we will come back to at level 3. Speaking of levels, we are strictly a barbarian for this build. As much as I enjoy going fighter for these kinds of things, I really like the barbarian capstone. And while Thor isn't raging a lot of the time when he's fighting, I do think it fits. The one thing I would say is that unlike most barbarians, where you generally stick to unarmored, I do think medium armor fits really, really well with what you want to be doing with Thor. And we do have the 14 in Dex, which means we can max out that Dex bonus as well, which is very tasty. At level 1, we get all of the barbarian stuff, and for our skill proficiencies, I've gone for Perception and Intimidation. We already get Athletics from Preordained Hero, as well as Persuasion, which is a nice little bonus. We also get Rage, which allows us to, as a bonus action, enter a Rage, which gives us resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. It gives us rage damage on each hit we make with our strength attacks. It's awful. The damage is awful, but it is used more interestingly with this subclass than with most. It gives us advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws, which makes us nearly unbeatable in that respect, given that we can also add our proficiency bonus to those checks. It means we can't maintain concentration spells or cast spells, and it lasts until we don heavy armor, have the incapacitated condition. We also need to either use a bonus action or hit someone or make someone make a saving throw to maintain our rage. We also get unarmored defense, which we're not going to be using, so I'm just not going to pay attention to it. And then for our weapon masteries, I've gone for the maul, and the light hammer fits because you can throw it, although we're not going to be able to have it returning to us. I don't want this to be a thrown weapon build because I don't think that's most of what Thor does. It's just part of what he does. If you can get a hammer with a returning ability on it, whether it's from an artificer friend or one of the third-party sources, then go for that. Otherwise, I would recommend maining the maul as your weapon of choice, which is just a big old hammer. It also gives us the topple mastery, which can be really handy for our friends. I would also say you can flavor the hammer as just being a maul, despite being small, just as a pure flavor thing, because it's meant to be a big old heavy hammer. Well, Mjolnir's not heavy, it's just hard to lift. It's complicated, right? Magic stuff. Level 2, we get Danger Sense, which gives us advantage on dex saves, as long as we don't have the incapacitated condition, which is great. Our dex score is not bad either. +2 is nothing to sniff at. And those two combine to give us a pretty good chance of succeeding on our dex saving throws. We also get Reckless Attack, which we'll be using constantly because it gives us advantage on all of our attacks. It does give other people advantage against us, but that's a small price to pay. Plus we have resistance to a lot of damage types. So we already have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, radiant, and necrotic, and we're going to gain another one at level 3 as well. At level 3 we are taking our subclass. We are going for the Path of the Lightning Vessel from Steinhardt's Guide to the Eldritch Hunt, courtesy of Monkey DM. This is an immensely cool barbarian subclass, which is obviously all about lightning. The flavor is a little dark, but we can reflavor it. That's what flavor is for. We just get Primal Knowledge, which lets us pick another skill from our list. We're going to add Survival to the mix. But on to the actual subclass features that we get. We get Galvanic Heart. Lightning is a part of you. It flows through your veins and awaits release. You gain resistance to the lightning damage, which is nice. That brings our resistances up to 6 already. If you have this resistance already, which we don't, you can reduce lightning damage further by rolling a number of d6s equal to your rage damage bonus and adding them together, which is great. I really like that as a feature. It just buffs it if you already have lightning resistance for some reason. You also get Save DC, which is 8 plus your con modifier, so we do want to put points into our con modifier for our vessel saves, and we get vessel damage, which is a number of d4s equal to our rage damage bonus. Rage damage bonus, for those of you that aren't aware, is +2 to begin with. It goes up to +3 at level 9 and +4 at level 16. I think it could scale probably twice as fast to that and still be fine, but here we are. The big thing at level 3 though is the Unbound Storm category of abilities, which is while raging, you have access to 3 different effects. Electrified Chains. As a bonus action, you can cause your next attack to not only deal extra damage equal to your vessel damage, which is 2 extra d4s here, which is 5 extra damage, which is not bad, but also anchors them to the ground, and if they try to move more than 10 feet on their turn while ensnared, they have to make an athletics saving throw against your vessel save DC. They free themselves on a success, but on a failure, they take your vessel damage again, and their speed is reduced to 0 until the start of your next turn. It's good stuff. Fulgurant Strike allows you to, when you hit a creature with a melee attack, you can leave your weapon there for a moment and strike them with lightning as your bonus action. This causes them and each creature in a 10-foot emanation originating from the target to have to succeed in a dex saving throw, or also take the advantage, or also take that damage. This is a good one if you are fighting a bunch of creatures. You do also have to make that save, but you do get advantage on it. And although you would already have advantage on that because it's a dex save. So it's a little weird that that one's there. And the final one, which is my favorite, is Lightning Step. As a bonus action, you can move up to half your speed. During this rush, your body becomes supercharged. If you end this movement with 5 foot of a creature, it takes your vessel damage as the lightning leaps to them. There are multiple creatures, you choose one that takes the damage. Strangely enough, that's actually your best bet for consistent damage. The Electrified Chains one is great if you can guarantee you're going to hit, and we do have a high hit chance because of advantage, but the Lightning Step always does damage, so it's just a flat boost of 5 extra damage whenever we're using that, basically. Plus it's more movement, and that's lovely. Obviously, when you're playing the character, you can choose whichever one fits best for the situation you are in. I do think Fulgurant Strike is probably going to be a winner a lot of the times because of the AoE. But adding a little bit of control to the Barbarian with the Electrified Chains option is lovely, and mobility is just great anytime on any character. Also at level 3, we get the final part of our Aasimar species options as well. As a bonus action, you can transform, allowing you to gain wings and a fly speed equal to your speed. You can radiate radiant damage, which deals damage to creatures within 10 feet of you, equal to your proficiency bonus, or you can potentially frighten creatures in an aura as well. These are all cool. The fly speed is probably the most useful, but it's also another bonus action, and just keep in mind, we're currently using a bonus action to rage on our first turn, and then a bonus action to actually activate all of our cool lightning abilities. So taking a bonus action to fly as well on top of that is a lot to ask. although I am going to add another bonus action at next level. Level 4 this is. We get another weapon mastery. I'm taking Warhammer for the push mastery because it's another hammer. And we get a feat. I'm going to take Greater Blessing of Thor. This allows us to boost our strength or a con by 1. And also as a bonus action, lets us channel the power of Thor for a minute. During that minute, you deal extra damage when you hit with a melee weapon equal to your proficiency bonus. You can do this only once per turn, and you can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus per long rest. Again, this is another bonus action. You're going to have to pick and choose when you're using the various ones. If you're running up to a creature, sometimes adding this extra little bit of damage is going to be a great thing to do. Sometimes flying is going to be the right choice. Sometimes neither of those is going to be the right choice. But it's nice to have options, if maybe too many of them. If I was building this for optimization, I'd probably take something else at level 4. But with Thor, it feels really fitting to have the Thor blessings because of that. So here we are. Level 5, we get extra attack. So we can attack twice on our turn when we take the attack action. And we also get an extra 10 feet of movement speed, which combines lovely, that's a word, with our bonus action lightning step. It gives us an awful lot of movement, 60 feet a turn basically. And we are going to, for our damage, be using the maul because it's 2d6. Basically, the way this is going to work is turn 1, we're going to rage, and turn 2, we're going to be using our lightning stuff. As I said, if you want to use your fly speed, or your frighten, or your radiant damage, or your Thor blessing, then you can do those things as well. If the fight looks like it's going to be longer, then spending an extra turn on setup isn't a bad thing. You still get to use 2 attacks on the first turn anyway, and the second turn, so it's really not a problem. But I'm going to assume you're not doing those things for the damage calculations here. I'm also assuming, as ever, an enemy AC of 15. If you are causing creatures to make dex saves against your fulgurant strikes, be aware that the dex saving bonus at this level is plus 1.6, which isn't too bad, but con is not our main modifier, so it can be a little hit and miss. I am also going to assume we're doing lightning step as our bonus action for the damage calculation round, so we're doing 24.18 damage plus 5, which is 29.18, which is respectable. We're also blitzing around the battlefield, dealing guaranteed damage because of the lightning step, and just generally a threat that cannot be ignored, especially if we do start locking down creatures and more. Just want to take a brief moment to thank my YouTube members and my Patreon members as well. You all supporting me seems very, very strange to me, but I really do appreciate it. I really enjoy doing these videos, and it makes it a lot easier to justify putting the amount of time into this stuff that I do. The Patreon is worth checking out if you like random homebrew stuff and campaign diaries. I am putting stuff up there here and there. You can also go for higher tiers if you want me to take a look at your stuff as detailed in the higher tier. But that is it for now. Let's go back to the video, shall we? Say that like I wasn't already in the video. You know how videos work. Level 6, we get Roaring Crash. This allows you to, as part of entering your rage, you can leap into the air and crash down within 30 feet of yourself. Each creature within a 10-foot emanation originating from you must make a dex save, and they take twice your vessel damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. This is guaranteed damage when you rage, which is great. And also, if you choose to land on a creature that is large or smaller at this point, the creature has disadvantage on the saving throw and is pushed 5 feet out of the space to an unoccupied space of their choice. If they can't move, they become prone instead. At level 10, this goes up to 60 feet, and you can land on huge creatures. At level 14, it's 90 feet, and you can land on any creature. It's just a really cool little bonus to our rage. I love it. 7, we get Feral Instinct, which gives us advantage on our initiative rolls, which is hard to argue with for sure. We also get Instinctive Pounce, so that when we rage, we can move half our bonus speed. Theoretically, you could move half your bonus speed first, and then do the Roaring Crash, which is a lot of movement on that first turn. And then level 8, we are going to take our next feat, which we're going to take Great Weapon Master for. This boosts our strength up to 19, and when we hit a creature with a weapon that has the heavy property, which the maul does, we can deal extra damage equal to a proficiency bonus, which is an extra 3 damage a hit at this point, but goes up to 4 damage a hit at level 9, so that's nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about? What words am I trying to use here? That's good. There we go. Level 9, we get Brutal Strikes. This allows us to forego the advantage we would have on a reckless attack to add 1d10 extra damage, and then also push a creature away or reduce the creature's speed. I did some maths this time around and discovered that it's technically a DPR loss because of the loss of advantage of about 0.6, which is nothing, really. But you can assume I won't be using this for now in my damage calculations. Every little helps. At level 10, we get another weapon mastery. Just take whatever you want. I took the Great Club because it doesn't really matter. We also get lightning reflexes, which is fantastic. When you make a dexterity check, you gain a bonus equal to your con modifier. In addition, while your rage is active, you can use lightning step once on each of your turns without taking a bonus action, which is a free 7.5 points of damage every single turn now, plus the extra 7.5 points of damage from doing it on purpose, because you can just dash around a creature if you want to, which is very funny. The dexterity check bonus also applies to our initiative checks, because that is a dexterity check, so do keep that in mind. For our damage here, I'm assuming an AC of 17. Dex saves goes up to plus 2.9 on average here, which gets pretty rough. And we're going to be attacking twice, and then lightning stepping twice, once for free, once with a bonus action. Obviously, if you're in AoE, the Fulgurant Strike is a better choice, generally speaking. I'm also not accounting for the first term's damage of the extra vessel damage from entering rage, but our damage at this point is 46.61, which is not bad at all. Level 11 is a simple one. We get Relentless Rage. If you drop to 0 hit points while you're raging, you don't die outright, you can make a con save to just heal, basically. It gets harder every time you do it, but it's a good way to just keep fighting. Level 12, we get another feat. I want to obviously get our strength to 20 here. I do think Thrown Weapon Master is super tempting, but it is also a bonus action to use the double throw, and Lord knows we have enough of those. Crusher would be good if it was a good feat, and it's fun for moving creatures, but it does so little when we're already doing so much controlling. I also like Sentinel. If you do have another ally who's regularly in the fray for you, having a way to consistently weaponize our bonus action our opportunity attack reaction, there we go, is incredibly strong, because we're hitting pretty hard when we're hitting. Getting another one of them is obviously like a 50% damage increase, especially because we do have advantage on those, assuming we are reckless, which we should always be, because you're a barbarian. I also don't hate Charger. Charger reads that if you move 10 feet in your turn before attacking someone, you deal like an extra 1d8 of damage. That includes the lightning step, because we would still be moving. So, yay. However, Mage Slayer just gives us a way to shake off some saves, and that's really nothing to complain about, is it? Level 13, our proficiency bonus goes up to 5, which makes Great Weapon Master a little bit better again. We also get better brutal strikes, so we can give disadvantage on saving throws. This theoretically would allow you to hit a creature with the improved brutal strike to give them disadvantage on their next saving throw and stop them making opportunity attacks, and then you can use your bonus action and the Fulgurant Strike or the Electrifying Chains to give them disadvantage on their saves against that, which really works nicely and gives you a lot of room to just stop creatures doing stuff. Level 14, we get Electric Beast, which is our capstone for our subclass. This lets us add our Constitution modifier to our vessel damage, which is +3 at the moment, but will be going up. It also makes it so that the ensnaring strike from the electrical chains triggers on 5 feet instead of 10 feet, and also stops them making reactions if they fail. The emanation from Fulgurant Strike goes up to 20, and you can choose a number of creatures equal to your con mod that automatically succeed on the saving throw, which makes that a lot better. The boosted emanation size, plus the fact that you can save your allies, are both really, really powerful. And for the lightning step, instead of moving up to half your speed, you can just teleport the distance moved instead, so you can zip around a creature, beating it to death as you do so, which is hard to argue with, you know. The damage boost here is also nothing to sniff at, as it takes the 7.5 average damage from our 3 vessel up to 10.5 instead, because of the +3, which is an extra 6 damage a turn, which is really good. Level 15, we get Persistent Rage. When you roll initiative, you can regain all uses of your rage. After you've done this, you can't do it so again until you finish a long rest, and it's also so fierce that it just lasts for 10 minutes without you having to do anything, which is nice. It's also our next damage check-in. I'm assuming an AC of 19 here, and if you are going for dex saves, be aware that creatures at this point have an average 4.6 bonus to their dex saves, which is rough. We are still going to be double lightning stepping because the damage has gone up now, and we're going to be hitting twice as well. We can also fly, or we can do anything else. So while I'm listing specific damage here, that's against a single target. If you have a big AoE and you can use your Fulgurant Strikes, you're going to be doing a fair bit more damage than this on average, which is great. Our damage at this point has gone up to 55.97, which is not bad. So hard to build barbarians just for pure damage, weirdly. And it is weird. They're tanks more than they are damage dealers. It's the lack of a fighting style, I think, that does it. But hey. Level 16, we finally get to +4 on our rage bonus, which means 4d4 when we're rolling our vessel damage. I'm just going to boost our con by 2 here because our constitution modifier has become more relevant. So we're doing now on our lightning step 10 plus 4 damage on average, which is great. Level 17 we get improved brutal strike, so we go up to a 2d10, at which point it is worth using the brutal strike instead of not using the brutal strike for damage from a DPR standpoint. Just under 1 point of damage in it, so technically better. Congrats. Level 18 we get Indomitable Might. This allows us to, if we roll a strength check or strength saving throw and it's less than our strength score, we can just use our score instead. This is like Rhodes' exceptional talent, but somehow better, but just for strength stuff. So try to convince your DM everything is a strength check. This pairs really nicely with Convincing Inquisitor from the Grim Hollow book. It's an origin feat which lets you use any stat of your choice for your intimidation checks, I think, and maybe a couple of others. Having this just be a success actually, I think, might make you better than bards a lot of the time, or certainly comparable. Level 19 we get an epic boon. I don't love the epic boons, which I talked about. I should probably do a full video on it, but for now I'm just going to say we're boosting our con up to 20, which gives us a +5 bonus, obviously. And then level 20 is one of my favorite capstones. It gives us just 4 points in strength, 4 points in constitution. This means we are better at hitting things, we deal more damage, we have a lot more health, and we deal more damage again because we're using our con saves. Our constitution checks are a bunch of stuff. It also means our vessel saves are much harder to make as well because we now have a +7 con modifier, which means the save DC at this point would be 21, which is good. Very, very good. However, enemies do have a dex save average of 7.9, +7.9 at this point, which is awful to try and overcome. Against an enemy AC of 21, we have a pretty good chance to hit because of advantage and also because we have extra strength and proficiency bonus and all sorts. We'll be doing 2 instances of 17 damage with the lightning step, plus 45.39 damage for the 2 attacks, which leaves us with 79.39 damage on average. But that is to say nothing of the fact that we have 285 health. We have damage resistance to 5 different damage types. 6 different damage types, even, which is really good. And we can also lock people down, fly, and attack in an AoE. So, yeah, you're Thor. You can be flying around the battlefield all the time. You can 100% flavor your teleports as you yeet in your hammer as well, because if your DM doesn't let you do that, then, you know, buy them a cupcake, and then they'll probably change their minds. That is it, however, for this build. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing this one. Thor is a classic character, and being able to have a subclass that so perfectly fits him, it's just wonderful. I do think the Path of the Giants with the elemental imbuement and the fact that you can throw any weapon with that class is a pretty good shout as well, but you don't get all the cool movement and control options with that one that you get with this, and Thor doesn't get big. Ultimately, that's not part of his shtick, so I think this fits better. But let me know if you've ever played a Thor-inspired character in D&D and how you did it. And also, what other characters you'd like to see. I'm planning on doing a Nightcrawler and possibly a Gambit one at some point. I have rough ideas for both, but let me know what else you'd like to see. I'll probably do some for the anime and games coming up as well, because, you know, it fits. I'm a bit of a nerd. I don't know if you can tell. But that is it for now. I hope that you are doing well. I hope you continue to do well. I hope that you take care of yourself and you have a wonderful week ahead of you. I look forward to seeing you whenever I next see you. Do like and subscribe. I probably should have said that earlier. One day I'll get that in before the end of the video when everyone stopped watching. But that's it. So check out some other build videos. Let's go for He-Man, because that one didn't do very well, even though I thought it was quite good, and Keyfree as well, because that one did do pretty well. And I will see you whenever I next see you. Goodbye.